Hello everybody, it is Kathryn back with another fandom inspired craft, and today we are going to be making a desk companion straight out of the Land of Ooo. We are going to be turning an old box into BMO from Adventure Time. So to get started, you're going to need a couple of supplies. First off, you're going to need an old box like this one. If your box has this sort of plastic covering on it, like a lot of food boxes have, you're probably going to want to color in your BMO with acrylic paint like I have here. And so, of course, you'll need paintbrushes. If your box looks more like this and doesn't have a finished cardboard edge, it's just the brown cardboard, you can probably use markers or crayons as well. So I'm going to be using this as scrap cardboard, which you will also need to make BMO's buttons. And then you'll just need scissors and some glue. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to take your old box, and if it is open on any sides like this one is, you're gonna go ahead and glue those shut. Now, you probably want to glue the smoothest side out, so that would not be this one in this case, it would be this. But you do want to put glue on all your flaps so that they all stick together and you don't have to worry about your box coming open once you've already painted on it. If you are having trouble getting your glue to dry on your box, you can also seal it closed with masking tape. I have blue painter's tape here. The only problem with this method is that sometimes the tape does end up peeling after a little bit, but I am choosing to use it because I could not get the box to stick closed for the life of me. So here we go. All right, it is time to start painting the base color of my box. And so for BMO, that is going to be a turquoise or a mint sort of green, sort of somewhere in that family of colors. And I think I'm only going to need one coat of paint because it looks like I tested it on the back earlier and it looks pretty solid. But if you find that you have gaps in your paint, feel free to cover it with another layer, especially if you have a darker colored box or if your paint is particularly thin. So go ahead and paint your whole box all the way around. Make sure you wait for your glue and tape to dry and stick completely before you do this, or you'll be punching it down the entire time. And then we'll move on to painting on BMO's face. So there are two different ways to do this, and you can pick whichever way you think will work best with your supplies. So the first way is you can actually take a piece of scrap cardboard, paint the face on, and then glue it to your box. I think I'm going to choose the second option, which is to just paint the face straight onto the box. So if you're familiar with the character, you know that BMO's face is a little bit of a lighter turquoise, minty blue kind of color. And if you don't have that paint, that is okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to mix this original BMO body color with a little bit of white and just paint his face like that. We're gonna wait for that to dry, and then I'm gonna go in with my black paint, or you can use a black permanent marker if your paint is super dry, and I'm going to line his face and paint his actual facial features on. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the rest of the black detailing while I'm at it, just to save time. So as you can see, I have messed up my O in BMO with my black paint, but that's okay, because everyone makes mistakes. And also I'm using acrylic paint, so it is really, really easy to layer acrylic paint over itself and just make it disappear. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Still not perfect. I'm not a perfect painter. I have shaky hands, and this is not what I do every day of my life, so it's not always going to look great, but it looks so much better. All I had to do was go in with some of the teal paint and cover up the black part that I messed up, and then just kind of go back in with the black and fix up the edges so it looked like I painted it all in one go. So we are now to our last thing, and that is to add on BMO's buttons. So if you're going to cut them out and glue them on, you'll need your scrap cardboard and your scissors. And you're gonna wanna cut out the shapes of the buttons, paint them, wait for the paint to dry, and then glue on the buttons where they would go on BMO. I'm gonna go ahead and try and just paint the buttons on. So you're going to need yellow, green, blue, and red for your buttons. Once you have added your buttons and they are dry, or the glue is dry, you are done and you have your own little BMO buddy. I'm just gonna let him dry overnight, and then I'm gonna pop him on a shelf or someplace else where he can just sit there and look cute and keep me company. Thanks for watching, everyone.